Hey everybody, it's Rachel with Rachel Q Stitches and welcome to my channel. Today is Tuesday, September 20th, 2022, and this is FlossTube number 77. Wow! So anyway, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. This is a channel mostly about cross stitch. Sometimes I will throw in other stitchy goodness like crochet or quilting or embroidery maybe. We will see, but for the most part, this channel is about cross stitch, and today is no exception. I don't think I'm going to be mentioning quilting at all because I have not been doing much. So anyway, if you're new, thank you for stopping by. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, all that good stuff. And if you are a returner, thank you so much for stopping by and joining me again today. I really appreciate my returning subscribers and those of you who comment weekly. I really appreciate it. So what have I been stitching? Well, I have a finish, and I think I mentioned that whenever I stopped stitching it this week, it will be a finish, and I am talking about a piece that was in WhipGo, and that is a Eliana. I picked up this pattern at a thrift store, and I picked it up when I first got back into cross stitch in 2018. And I stitched a little bit on it, put it away, and other things caught my eye. So anyway, I left out the azalea, the duck, the pot, and the cattails right here, and this right here. Basically, I did trees, moon or sun, and house. So I finished it. I dated it. It's done. It came out to about 8.5 by 11, so I need to go dig through my frames. But there it is. See, I dated it. It is done. So this is all I've done on it. I really like it. I really wanted to finish it, but I did not want to do all the, I wanted to be more scenic than what it was. So that's why I left out the big azalea and the crawfish pot and all that stuff. I just wanted to be more of a Acadian style house on the edge of the swamp. So there it is. This is finished. This is a chart from 1983 by Pam Mullins. So it's an old chart and it's hand drawn, so it was really hard to read, which is another reason why I wanted to finish it, because she was just a hard chart to read. Anyway, so there it is. She is done. I'm excited to have it done. I'm excited to have a whip completed out of my pile. So that feels good. So like I said, I need to sit down one day and just find all my things that need to get framed and frame them. That's what I need to do. All right, next up is my daily 25/7 piece. This is a piece that I work on 25 minutes a day, 7 days a week. It is a Facebook group. I really can't tell you much about it. Somebody mentioned it. I joined the group, and I guess I need to see who started it and all that good stuff. But this is what I'm working on. This is Amid Amish Life. This is out of a Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine, I believe from 1987. Right here. This is the panel I'm working on. I will be doing all 3 panels as one piece. I got mine. I do have the magazines, but I am using the chart out of this book. When I bought this book, I paid $10 for it, not realizing that it was actually going for $90 in some places. As you can see, it's got all 3 charts and a couple other charts that I wanted to work on. So I was excited to get this book. It's now like $36, which isn't bad. I mean, it's 101 and they're huge designs. So to me, it was a good investment if you like this kind of stuff. And like I said, there was like 3 or 4 that I wanted to do. And since I've gotten it, I've added more. Anyway, so this is my 25/7 piece. And this is the progress I made on it this week right here. So I still have to do some parts down here. This is some floss that I actually need to buy. I didn't have it. What I'm doing is I am picking a color and I am working my way from my right all the way across until I run out. In fact, if you would see my back, you would see all where I tie them all off on one end, so it's getting kind of lumpy on that side, but that is what I'm doing. So there they are. I need to give my ladies some heads. There's a lady right here, here, and here, and this is a gentleman. And so, yeah, and then once I finish this little section, which I'm hoping to do this week, all of these colors right here, I will actually start in, well, no, in 2 weeks, hopefully. So I'm hoping to finish all my people right here this week. And then next week, I'm hoping to do this. You can see that it's rows of color. And then after that is the field, which, like I said, I pick a color and I just stitch straight across. So I'm hoping to really make some progress when I hit to that part. But you know, I have to say, working 25 minutes a day has really given me some great progress on this chart. And I'm glad I chose this one to do it on. I'll probably continue that. If I continue with the 25/7, continue using this one, because I feel like I touch it every day and it's, you know, it's showing some progress, and I really want to get it done. I don't want it languishing in the whip pile for very long. So that is Amid Amish Life. Okay, the next thing I'm working on weekly, and that is Jeanette Douglas's A Year Bouquets. I don't have the picture of the full thing of all the bouquets, but I do have, this is August's bouquet, is which I'm working on right now. And I'm working on it weekly because I'm trying to catch up. And this is what I have. This is all the bouquets. And then, here you go. This is what I worked on right here. And then you can tell I have a thread hanging. So I'm working on the tomatoes. And I'm hoping to finish that today. I will pick it up today and work on it today. So I'm hoping to get it finished today. And then that way, next week, I can start September before October rolls around. And I still have to work on the bottom part of the border. But like I said, I'm hoping to, working on it weekly will get me caught up, hopefully, by the time the end of the year rolls around. I would like to have it finished before January 1st. And there it is. I still love this piece. It is absolutely beautiful. And that's it. And I'm not saying what I work on because honestly, I try to remember, like I kept telling y'all this was mushroom, and I actually found the tag from him, and it's not, it's coffee, I think. I don't know. I don't remember what I work on. I don't write things down. That's my goal, is hopefully this year to keep better records of what I'm working on and what I'm stitching on, so I can tell you guys, because I feel bad. But for the most part, I stitch on all kinds of things, all kinds of fabric. I used to be real, when I first stitched back in the 80s and 90s, I did linen. I was all linen. I did some Aida pieces, mainly from kits. And then when I got back into it, I kind of got back into Aida, eased myself into it. And now I'm, the only thing I have not ventured into is 40 count. I do have a piece, so we'll see. Went to the eye doctor, got new contacts. So we'll see how that works. But anyway, okay, the next piece I worked on is a piece honoring Queen Elizabeth. I sat down yesterday and watched the replay of her funeral. I did not wake up at 2 a.m. to watch it, but I did watch the replay. And so this is the piece I'm working on. This is by Teresa Gil. This was actually in honor of her 60th anniversary of her coronation. Now, I'm going to mention Judy, the City Stitcher, twice. So Judy made the comment that she did not care for her face. Okay, Judy, I'm not saying you're being critical. She was not being critical at all. But just that the face was not Queen Elizabeth's face. And I made the comment on her video that that's why I chose it, because I didn't want to mess up the Queen's face. I didn't want somebody saying, ugh, because I think the Queen was just such a beautiful lady. So I love it. I love the dress. I love everything about it. I did not realize that Vivster's chart honoring the coronation, the Jubilee, and then she changed it again after Queen Elizabeth passed, was actually a representation of her gown. If I did, I probably would have stitched it. But I want to, but I had already paid for this one. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, that was my daddy, and you answer the call following when your daddy calls. So anyway, I was saying, anyway, this chart right here, all this little quilted looking area, they're beads. So anyway, so I worked on this for a little while watching the funeral. I was really watching it because a lot of it was just, there wasn't a whole lot of talking going on, the procession and everything. So I watched it. So anyway, so this is what I've gotten done. Pin is there to show me where the top is. And you can see right here, all these little diamond shaped pieces, that will be beads. So it's going to be pretty heavily beaded, and I'm excited about that because from what Judy said, the Queen's gown was, coronation gown was heavily beaded. So I'm excited about this. I'm stitching this on a piece of 28 count Monaco that I dyed myself. And somebody asked me how I dye my fabric, and I'm going to attempt to give instructions at the end of this video. Not video instructions, just instructions. So there it is right there. So that's what I worked on. So this piece will take me a while. I'm going to try to make it, at least pull it out monthly and work on it for 2 days. So that is Queen Elizabeth II in her coronation dress by Teresa Gil. And I do have Teresa's Etsy page linked below. Okay. All right. Next thing I stitched on. We still have not watched the Lord of the Rings series because it's football season. So most of our TV watching time is on the weekends, and that's when football is. And my husband does watch high school football. So anyway, he's a high school teacher, so he watches at school. Anyway, so I decided I'm going to start Welcome to Rohan. And this is by Country Magic Stitch. They used to be on Etsy, but now they have their own website, and I'll link that below. And this is what I got done. This is on a 16 count Aida. So there it is. That's it. I originally started, okay, a little word of warning. For the most part, I get my fabric from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. My Joann's doesn't have a whole lot. Michael's, I get the DMC Monaco because I can dye it. Well, I had picked up a piece of 16 count Aida from Michael's thinking, oh, I'm going to use this. It was horrible. I started stitch. I did like 6 stitches on it, and I was like, You know how Aida has squares? This did not have squares. It almost looked like, I don't know. The threads weren't even. It was 17 some spaces, 16 some space. It was horrible. So I was like, nope, nope, nope. I have 2 rolls of it. I don't know what I'm going to use them for. I might end up dyeing them and see if something happens to it. Maybe. See what happens if I dye it. So anyway, so I pulled out some 16 count Aida that I got at Hobby Lobby, which is the Zweigart brand. So I'm okay with that. So it is like an antique white color. So that's what I did. Yeah, it's full coverage, and so, but I like it. It's full coverage, but it's a lot of blocks of color. So that is Welcome to Rohan. Travel poster. Anyway. Okay. And then I am working on Princess Eliana. I work on this every month on the 17th of the month because that is my daughter's birthday, and I'm doing this piece for her. Except this month on the 17th, I had my class, and so I worked on it Sunday. So this is Princess Eliana by Mirabilia. I am doing a conversion by Katie Eck on Facebook, on the Nora Corbett Mirabilia conversion page on Facebook. And this is the conversion that I'm doing. I'm having so much fun with this. I think it's the colors. I think it's just the colors. The colors are just absolutely gorgeous. So again, since I had class and Sunday was a busy day, I didn't get a whole lot done, but I did get some stitches in. Like I said, not a whole lot. Pin at the top, so I know where I'm at. I worked on the pink color in this part right here. So that's what I got done. That's it. But she's coming along. I think she's going to go into Whip Go next year, maybe, or into my regular rotation, but more than just one day a month. So anyway. And the last thing I worked on the 19th of every month is right here, Mother's Dream Quilt Block Cherish. I do this on the 19th of every month in honor of my mama. And the quilt part is done. And I was working on the back stitching. So y'all are just going to have to bear with a little bit of the thread that's still stuck in there. This is it. So last time I had worked up to here and I did a little bit of that. And this time I added these little flowers and I started on the hearts. I worked on this last night after the coronation, after the funeral. So that's it. That's what I got done. I love this little block. I think I'm going to leave it as is. I am not going to put the flower buttons on it because it's got little flowers right there, but I do want to find a little heart charm to go in the middle. So we'll see. I need to go to Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby and see what they have. So I covered my notes. Hang on, y'all. Okay. All right. So, like I said, I was going to mention Judy, the City Stitcher, twice, and here's the second time. Judy's last video was Let's Talk Chatelaine Designs. One of my goals for, a goal for this year was to start a chatelaine. Now, I purchased the, what's it called? The Gift of Stitching magazine package. I think it was maybe last spring or something. They had it for like $27 and you got all the issues downloadable. So I went ahead and I did that, and they had 2 chatelaines in there, and I figured I was going to do one of them. One of them is a rose garden, one's a lavender garden. And so that was my plan. I was going to do one of those. And then Judy did Let's Talk Chatelaine Designs, and she mentioned that the Sunshine, I'm looking at my notes, so you'll have to forgive me if I keep looking down. The Sunshine Stitchers are doing a chatelaine sow October 7th, 2022. And they're using this freebie off of the Chatelaine website right here. And this is called the Tiny Marie Antoinette Rose Gate. So I'm going to do this one. I think it is absolutely pretty. It does not have a size, but I mean, it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 by, roughly 50 by 50. Not too big. So it's not going to use a whole heck of a lot of beads and whatnot. So, I mean, the list is still significant. It's still a significant list of beads and whatnot. So I'm going to, of course, try to make a DMC conversion. And because it does call for a lot of Glorianas and Karen Water Lilies, Silk Lamaze, I'll probably end up getting that. I will probably end up getting the, it calls for some rainbow galleries. I'm going to look those up. I do have some, I purchased these on, I'm praying nothing falls. Okay. I purchased these on Amazon a while back. Somebody had mentioned that they really liked them and they were affordable. Y'all, excuse me. I am going to attempt to open this up. Okay. This is what it looks like. And it comes in a bunch of different colors. I have not tried them yet. Oh, isn't that pretty? Ooh-wee. And I don't remember who it was, but it was somebody on one of my groups, and that's what she says she uses instead of any of the other Krynics or whatever that is called for. This was just one of the packs. It came in a bunch of. This is 6 spools of stitching thread. KCS. I don't know what that stands for, but there were a lot of different varieties. I just ordered this one, and then I'm going to attempt to make some substitutions. Whoop, chart. Make some, it's free. You have to get it off the Chatelaine site. But anyway, I'm going to attempt to make some substitutions. I do need to find some beads. Again, it calls for some delicas and some sea beads. I don't understand what half of this means, but I do have quite a bit of sea beads from when my mom and I had our business, so I'm going to work on those. So I am going to be doing this in October. Go watch Judy. She has a really, really good almost 2.5 hour long video. If you want to fast forward it to the end when she talks, I love Judy. I love watching her stuff. She stitches a lot of things that just I love looking at. Can I say I want to stitch them? Not sure, but I love watching her stitch. The fact that she stitches them. But she has a really, really good talk on chatelaine and starting a chatelaine and how to start a chatelaine and tips for starting a chatelaine. Really, really informative video. Go check her out. But, so this is what I'm going to be doing in October 7th. And that way I can say I have stitched a chatelaine. And then eventually I do want to stitch the smaller ones from the magazines. And I don't know if I'll attack a big one. They are huge. They're beautiful. I don't know if I'm ready to, I stitch either in hand most of the time, or I use a small hoop. I see chatelaines and I see the need for a scroll rod. I do know that there are some women in the group that use hoops. Some of them, I think maybe a couple of them said they stitch in hand, but I see that and I just see the need for something that you can see the whole, at least the width of it. That's just my take on it. So, but anyway, go check out Judy. She's got a great video. Go check out the Sunshine Stitchers. I will be watching them as this thing uploads and seeing what they say about it, and how they're going to do it. And then, anyway, that is it. That's all my stitching. Oh, dyeing fabric. Okay. So I had a lady ask, I'm sorry, I didn't write your name down, how I dye fabric. I dye fabric, a little unconventional. So essentially I have a kettle and I boil water, and I have a little electric kettle. And I have the liquid Rit dye. I like the liquid. I can add a little bit, close it up, and I don't have to worry about it spilling anywhere. It's in a sealed box. So if it spills, it's in the box, a plastic box. Basically, I boil some water. I add some salt to a container, and I add the water. And then I add the dye, and generally I start with a teaspoon. Now, all the tools I use are just for dyeing. I don't use them for cooking afterwards. Generally, I use about a teaspoon of dye, and I put it in the water, and I just wet my fabric if I want. Sometimes I'll do it dry because it absorbs more of the dye, and then I dunk it. And usually I will scrunch it up and just stick it in the dye, and I have some tongs, and I'll pull it out because it's hot, and I'll look at it. Now, when I did the Queen's piece right here, it did come out the blue came out a little darker than I intended when it first came out, but it dried a really, really pretty color, I think. Then what I do is I have a towel just for dyeing that, then I'll rinse it. I'll rinse it real, really good, and then I'll fill up a bowl with about half a cup of vinegar and some water, cold water, and I will set it in there for about 5 minutes. It's one of those things that I've always done when I would dye fabric or regular quilting fabric or whatever. Then for this one, what I did was I took it, rinsed it, squeezed it all out, and then I lay it out on a towel and I roll it up and I dry it. I'm able to squeeze the water out that way. And then I unroll it. And then what I did with this one, because I wanted some pink splashes instead of white, and there's still some white in there, you can see, I took, again, the violet Rit dye. I added the hot water, the salt, and then I just took a spoon just for dyeing, and I poured it over the white spotches of on the blue fabric. And then I let that sit for a few minutes, and then again I rinsed it, excuse me, soaked it in some vinegar and water. Maybe overkill, I don't know. Rinsed it again, rolled it up in the towel, and then I let it dry. And I set it on my table because my table gets a good bit of sun, especially in the morning. Set it on my table to dry, and it dries, and then I just iron it. So that's it. It's very unconventional, I guess. I don't know. I've watched several people dye. One is, of course, Priscilla and Chelsea, but they bake theirs, and I don't bake my fabric. I just let the sun dry it. Mama Loves You GB and Ardith. Ardith, no, not Ardith. I can't think of her name right now. Oof. I know also Artie the Vintage Stitcher. She has a quick tutorial on how she dyes her fabric. And so I just watched a bunch of different people and said, I'm going to develop it this way. Like I said, my mom and I used to dye quilt fabric back in the day. And so I kind of have that stuck in my brain somewhere. I was like, oh, I remember Mom and I used to rinse it in vinegar. And so that's what I did. And so just things like that, you know. So that is how I dye fabric. Sorry, it's not the best tutorial. I'm not set up to do tutorials. I tried to do a quilt one and I was going to show it to you guys. But when I looked over the filming of it, it is just horrendous. So until I can get us set up to where I can really do tutorials, you're just going to have to deal with me talking about it. And hopefully it's clear enough for you. I'll try to link some tutorials down below that I like. I'm going to try to find a couple of them that I've watched and just link them down below for you guys. Okay, so that is it. That is it for stitching. That's all I have. I will be talking just a few seconds about updates, family updates. And so that's it. So if you're just here for the stitching, thank you so much for coming by. I will see you guys hopefully next week, Lord willing. And if you are here for the family updates, hello. So if you follow me on Facebook, you know that we have announced that we are going to be becoming grandparents. Our oldest son and his fiance are expecting a baby in April, and we are thrilled beyond belief. We have been waiting for grandchildren to where my kids were annoyed by it, but but anyway, so we are absolutely thrilled and excited about that. We are waiting for the ultrasound to let us know what the little nugget is going to be. And then we are going to start buying things. And you might be seeing some baby quilts. So I am looking for a cute, minimalist looking baby sampler to stitch up. I saw that, y'all, I'm terrible with names, so y'all just going to have to deal with me. Someone stitched one for, the same one for a bunch of different people, and they just changed the little footprint colors. So I'm looking at something that maybe I can do something like that. That would be the same, depending on what the child is. So, anyway, so that is our family news. That is it. That is all that we have going on, but it has been, an amazing, exciting, announcement in our family. We are really thrilled. So anyhow, so that's all I have. That's all my updates, all my news, all my stitching. That's it. I hope you are all well. I hope you're all doing good. I will see you all next week, Lord willing. Happy stitching, everybody. Bye-bye.